Hey, what's up? It's Alex. I saw an image the other day that was advice for English learners. It said, stop saying very, and it had a whole list of synonyms. For example, instead of saying very easy, you could say effortless. Very small would be petite, or very clean would be spotless. I've got to say, this is bad advice. Native speakers use very all the time. Very sounds totally natural. When you learn another language, you can't just change one word for another word because somebody else said it was more advanced. Every word has situations where it's the best word to use. Let's take a look at some of the words on this list. For example, the first one, very angry and furious. This often works perfectly. You could replace very angry with furious in many cases. But furious to me can only describe people. It can't describe animals. But animals could be very angry. You could have a very angry dog. But a furious dog sounds a little bit weird. Another one is very cheap and stingy. This is a little bit of a dangerous suggestion to give because stingy means doesn't want to spend money. But when I think of something as very cheap, I think of something that costs very little. Stingy describes a person, whereas cheap, in my mind, usually describes an object. You can use cheap to describe a person, but it's pretty rude. I think it's ruder than stingy. And the last one I'll mention here is very small and petite. Petite is a French word, and when it's used in English, it means very small when describing a person, almost always a woman, and it's kind of a compliment. Petite would not be used to describe an object or a concept. You could have a very small problem, a very small amount of money, but you couldn't have a petite problem or a petite amount of money. You have to say very small in those situations. So in conclusion, if you're looking for ways to expand your English vocabulary, just look at a native English book or movie or TV show or something and learn new words there, and you'll see how they're used correctly. Don't study lists like this that pretend to expand your vocabulary, but then just give you suggestions that make you sound unnatural.